Here we go, the 67th country, Mauritius. After I returned back from England to Hong Kong, I just noticed the budget airline AirAsia, they opened a new route from KL to Mauritius. It's a brand new route and I'm big fans of AirAsia, so of course I booked my flight. And so I flew from China to KL and then KL to Port Louis. So it was an overnight flight. I didn't have a sleep, and the second flight on the airplane I was so cold, and then when I arrived in Mauritius I was exhausted, but still I needed to catch the public transport instead of other people. They travel fancy, they have a pickup, but I have to sort out the transport by myself. So I took 2 buses to deliver me to my guest house, where located in Tourbish. And it was really funny to find out on the sign in the airport they have Mandarin Chinese for welcoming, and even the immigration officer, they are able to speak a few Chinese, which I found very interesting. And I stayed in the guest house in Tourbish for more than a week, and I believe it's the most budget option I can find in Mauritius. And after I arrived at guest house, my guest house owner was supposed to talk with me about my plan in Mauritius, but I was too tired, and I just told him, okay, I will talk to you everything tomorrow. Now I just want to sleep. So I just went to sleep, and after that I got fever. So I asked the guest house owner for more blankets. I want to make myself to sweat. And then so I just wear a light dark hair jacket and then 2 blankets, and then just fall asleep. And 10 hours later I waked up. The bed and me was all sweat, and then I feel much better. I recovered from the fever and the tiredness, and then I can be able to go out to sightseeing. But the guest house owner was a little bit worried about me because I'm traveling alone in Mauritius. So he introduced me to one of the guests in the guest house to accompany me to Grand Bay. So another guest was from South Africa. His name is Matt. He was born in Mauritius, but he lived in South Africa for many years, and then this time he just came back to Mauritius in order to give up his South African residence. Why? Because the safety in where he lives, that was a huge problem. He told me he couldn't remember how many times he got robbed, how many times his house got stolen, and so on. So, yeah. But he doesn't speak any French or local language in Mauritius, only English. So I just wish he good luck for start a new life in Mauritius. And after that, I booked myself a tour. It's they have an interaction with the lion, because previously in Africa I've done safari, but never did any interaction with the lion. So I found it's interesting. But the transport from my guest house to the park, I have to sort out by myself. I checked the information. There's no public transport, or the taxi or rental car is out of my budget. And then I tried hard to search information everywhere, and eventually a local Chinese guide agreed to offer me a lift from my guest house to the park and returned. So. And then on the day to get to meet the lion, in the beginning I was a little bit nervous, but after that I had fun. I was hitting the lion's bum. After that, with my guest house owner's help, I booked another local day tour to an island called Leose. I was the only Asian in the tour, and the rest, they were from South Africa or Europe. And then before we boarded on the boat, a French lady proactively offered me a help with applying sunscreen on my back. She doesn't speak much English, but we tried to maintain a conversation. Like during the boat trip, we accompanied each other. She was with her husband, and then we enjoyed the sun, the ocean, the drinks on board, and then the barbecue. And of course, the typically Mauritius dance. Yeah, I had a lovely day out, and I really enjoyed that tour. And after that, I visited Chinatown, and then I found most of the immigrants in Mauritius, they were from Kanto province, and mostly they were doing hardware store there, because in Mauritius there's a lot of construction going. I tried to buy some Chinese chili oil, but I couldn't get it. Either they run out, or either some of the seller, they think it doesn't suit the local taste, and blah blah blah. That was my very first time that I couldn't get a Chinese chili oil in Chinatown abroad, which is funny. And after that, a little bit about my guest house owner. He's a local, he's a Hindu, and he speaks English, French, and the local language. He told me a lot of local information, like the local people get free service from the community center for clinics service. So when I was in Mauritius, I had some infection about my ears, so he suggested me to go there, and then I found out it's not for free for visitors, but after I talked to the doctor, and then he made it free for me, which is a nice experience. Because for visitor, most of the time, if you want to, for medical purpose, and normally if you are not local, you will be charged a lot. And then I was happy to have a free experience like a local. And one day, and also I got a discount on my stay for more than 1 week in the guest house. So one day before I left Mauritius, and the guest house was full, and the guest house owner just suggested me to move to his own place, where his wife and daughters lives in the southern part of the island, which is closer to the airport. So I said, yeah, no problem. So I just followed his driver. We first delivered a bunch of guests to the airport, and then after that we picked up his wife, and they dropped me in their house. So I met the guest house owner's wife and the daughters, because most of the time the guest house owner stay in the guest house for business, and then so he suddenly stay at home. So and then on that night, I followed his wife and his daughter. We went to a Hindu party. It's someone's birthday, some rich person. So I just followed them, copied all the ceremony, and then after that we get to eat like the vegetarian dish. We use our hand, and after that we got some snacks packed home to give to everyone. But unfortunately, I got diarrhea after the dinner. The next day, the guest house owner's wife offered me typically breakfast lamb curry with chapati. I ate it. Yeah, of course, it's not a night breakfast. And after that, I followed them to a local market, which is more countryside area than the one in Port Louis. And I found so many Chinese vegetables over there. And even the Hindu seller will ask me in Chinese if I need any ginger. I found that it's very interesting. And after that, the guest house owner's wife and his daughter offered me a lift to the airport. Before I came to Mauritius, I was thinking, okay, on the departure day, I have to get up earlier to take perhaps 3 buses to take me to the airport.